Thank you, everyone, for being here. Welcome. Welcome to today's unveiling of the portrait of President JoAnne A. Epps on the one-year anniversary of her passing. In attendance today, we have a number of temple administrators who work closely with JoAnne. We also have a number of the Beasley School of Law family, since that was JoAnne's very first home at Temple. With us today, we have members of JoAnne's extended family and her husband, L. Harrison J., in the front row right here. And we also have some of JoAnne's longtime friends from outside of Temple. She has considered all of you as part of her family. I would like to acknowledge the presence of so many of our members of our Board of Trustees. Thank you all for being here. This means so much to all of us. And finally, I'd like to give a shout out to the soon-to-be Temple President, John Fry. John Fry, after JoAnne's passing, he put out to the Drexel community a wonderful, wonderful message about JoAnne. It was really heartwarming. And so I just want to thank you on behalf of all of Temple for that wonderful message. And I know that JoAnne and John have been very close over the years, and each thinking very highly of each other. Now to our program. First, we will hear from the chair of the Board of Trustees of Temple University. He and our board very wisely hired JoAnne as acting president, and then they also paid her the great honor of naming her the 13th president of Temple University. I welcome to the podium Chairman Mitch Morgan.
Thank you, Dick. I love JoAnne. She was a part of my life when she started at the law school, when she was the dean of the law school, as a graduate of the Beasley School of Law. She would call me all the time to write a check. She was tough. How do you say no to JoAnne? You just couldn't. She kept telling me about the grassy knoll, which is the building, Rachel, I'm sure you know about, next to the law school, where she wanted to build a building. And one day we will build that building because that was her dream. JoAnne was Temple made, even though she never went to Temple. She was the epitome of everything we stand for at Temple University. She came, her parents didn't go to college. She was brilliant. She was hardworking. She went to Trinity and then Yale. And she was a success beyond imagination. I have to tell you a little story about JoAnne because they gave me a script to read, and I'm not going to read it. When we were doing a presidential search 4+ years ago, before COVID, and I know it's before COVID because I had lunch with JoAnne. So this is right around like February of 2020, I think. And I sat down with JoAnne. We hadn't started this presidential search. I said, JoAnne, of all the inside people that I know at Temple, you should be the next president of Temple University. You are everything we're looking for as a president. And she looks at me and she says, she told me her age, which I never would have asked. And she said, I think she said she's 69 or 70. She said, I am so honored that you would think of me to be the next president, but the next president's got to give you 10 years. And I don't have 10 years to give you. And I love the honor, but I love Temple more. And that's who JoAnne was. And that's the kind of person she was. And when she agreed to be, I went back to her after looking for another interim president. I said to JoAnne, I don't need 10 years. We're going to start a new presidential search. I just need a year or two. And she, of course, said yes right away. And she was amazing. So I am thrilled to be part and honored to be part of this ceremony, this wonderful person that we all will miss. And Jay, you are part of our family, as I said a year ago, forever. So thank you, and thank you very much. Dick, back to you.
Thank you, Mitch, for those wonderful words. And thank you to all the board members. You are amazing. You support our faculty, our staff, our students, the Temple mission. And so thank you all for that. Now, although we will continue to miss JoAnne dearly, this is not a funeral. This is not a time to mourn. This is a time to celebrate. Celebrate JoAnne's life and contributions she made to Temple University, to Philadelphia, to the legal profession, to all of us. This day is a difficult day, but by being together, we hope it reminds us all that we are doing just what JoAnne would want us to do, to be together. Now, she would probably be angry that we were making a fuss about her, but she would be happy that we are all together, sharing fond memories about her. We all remember her energy and her smiling face, her calm demeanor, her thoughtful responses, her careful listening, her desire to learn, always that desire to learn. Maybe the best way to remember JoAnne is to reflect on her own words. Each year at convocation, we have a convocation for new undergraduate students at the beginning of the fall semester. In 2023, when she addressed the incoming class as president, JoAnne challenged our new students with inspirational phrases. This year's class, each of the members of this year's class was provided with a t-shirt that was developed from the ideas that JoAnne shared at last fall's convocation. A t-shirt, which I will display, if you can see it. And I'll have it out so you can see it even better. Here are some of JoAnne's own words. Explore the city. Be curious. See big futures. Take bold actions. Support fellow owls. Celebrate success. Absorb, learn, and grow. Always see possibilities. Try new things. Push yourself. Learn from failures. And give, share, contribute. Now, no matter what our age or what our station in life, I think we can all appreciate her words about how we should live our lives. Patrick Hennessy, an incredibly talented Temple staff member, designed this t-shirt. It has been so popular that people are interested in purchasing their own. Patrick also designed something else in JoAnne's memory. Hopefully, you've all had the opportunity to receive a pin designed in JoAnne's memory. This pin was the idea of none other than her husband, Jay. He wanted something to remind us all of JoAnne's integrity and leadership. It was so important to Jay that everybody know this. Patrick worked with Jay on this pin. So thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Jay, for what you jointly designed in JoAnne's honor. Something that JoAnne would be very proud of. Now, I ask you, you have these on your lapels, but I ask you if you can take a look at it. I mean, even take it off and take a look at it. You'll appreciate the attention to detail. Under JoAnne's name, there appears a book symbolizing JoAnne's first job, which was in the Temple bookstore. There's Scales of Justice, symbolizing her storied legal career. There are Rays of Sunshine, symbolizing her light and warmth. There's the Keystone symbol, signifying her home state of Pennsylvania. There are diamonds, symbolizing, of course, Russell Conwell, our founder, his acres of diamond speech. There's a column, symbolizing her role in university leadership. There are the words, leadership and integrity, which, of course, speak volumes about JoAnne. And, of course, it's all done in Times New Roman font, which was JoAnne's favorite font. Well, it's impossible to capture all of what JoAnne stood for and what she means to us, but I believe the T-shirt and the pin really well summarize important elements of JoAnne's legacy. I'm going to embarrass him, and I'm going to ask Patrick Hennessy to stand so we can thank him for his artistic design of the T-shirt and the pin. Where are you, Patrick? Come. He's not here. Oh, okay. Let's hear it for Patrick Hennessy. And I know he doesn't want recognition, but in the front row is Jay. So Jay, you can just stay seated. You don't have to get up. But I just think we should all thank you for your idea, a magnificent idea about this pin and helping to design it. Thank you, Jay. I now would like to ask the dean of our Beasley School of Law, JoAnne's beloved school, we know that, to say a few words. I now welcome to the podium Dean Rachel Reboucher.
Thank you, President Englert. It's truly hard to believe that a year has passed since we lost JoAnne, and it's because some days this campus is full of her presence, and some days it's just aching with her absence. But I'm really honored to be speaking with you today for this celebration of her legacy, the unveiling of her presidential portrait. To JoAnne's husband, Jay, to her friends and her family, to Ouija, to Donna, thank you for making this day happen. And thank you for sharing JoAnne, her life, her vision. It has meant the world to so many of us here today. President-elect Fry, we are so excited to welcome you to Temple, and we are excited to hear more about your vision, and we are excited for your leadership. Welcome. JoAnne, as you know, is a pillar of many communities. She saw possibility in everyone and everything, and she was an opportunist in the best sense of the word. She saw opportunity in almost every circumstance, and she had a gift for doing so when it meant giving a student, a friend, a colleague, a boost toward success or professional growth. We know that she was a tireless leader of Temple University and a tenacious steward of our shared mission. Increasing access to education, the heart of what we do here, that was personal to us, and it was personal to her. And I think one way to honor her is to ensure it remains personal to this university. JoAnne's story is well known, as Chairman Morgan just briefly alluded to. She was a gifted student. She went to Trinity College before enrolling in Yale Law School. She had aspirations originally to be a legal secretary until someone told her, "You should go to law school." And she often recounted how lonely she was at Yale Law School. She had never met a lawyer, and she didn't think of it as a place that she belonged to. And I think that early experience informed what was the transformative ethic of inclusivity that JoAnne brought, not just to Temple Law, but to this university. It's really difficult to overstate JoAnne's impact on Temple Law. Bob Reinstein, where's Bob? Bob hired JoAnne in 1985. He was a tremendous mentor to her. She became an associate dean under Bob's leadership, I think in 1989. And then when Bob stepped down as dean in 2008, JoAnne became dean. And truly, what sets Temple Law apart, JoAnne built it. Our top-ranked trial advocacy program, the first fully integrated experiential education curricula, among the first in the country, our global footprint, a commitment to social justice that's institutional, that's baked in to Temple Law. We are who we are because of who JoAnne was and what she achieved. As much as she accomplished for Temple Law, she was an influential figure in shaping our legal profession. That influence, and maybe many of you don't know this, was so pronounced that her name was floated as a Supreme Court nominee in the Obama administration. There are too many causes and organizations, accolades, awards that JoAnne won over the course of her storied career to list here. And those achievements are very important. But perhaps her greatest contribution was her ability to strengthen every single community of which she was part, and her generous mentorship to others. She sought out those who might not feel like they belong, and she did everything she could to make sure they did. She had a capacity for knowing what each person needed and what each person could contribute. And I speak from experience. JoAnne hired me as a new professor, and she mentored me as I became dean. And as I look through her countless messages to me and to my colleagues, her kindness and her optimism, unmistakable. Congratulations on a new baby owl being born, condolences on a passing of a colleague, personal notes of support, of advice, encouragement. And when her colleagues and students succeeded, whatever that looked like for them, she expected them to turn around and extend the same hand back to those coming behind. I know this portrait will offer comfort and resolve to all who know her. But I also hope that future generations, long after our time has passed, view this portrait and see in themselves the potential and the possibility that JoAnne saw in everything she touched. I told our graduating students at last spring's law commencement, be like JoAnne. And by that I meant, as members of the legal profession, as Temple Owls, as members of this society, remember how JoAnne strove every day to try to make the world a better, kinder, more just place. Endeavoring to realize that world, to me, is the best and most enduring tribute we can offer our friend, our dean, our provost, our president, JoAnne A. Epps. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Wonderful remarks. Thank you. Well, it's now time to unveil the portrait. Let me just say a little something about the artist. James Tennyson is the name of the artist who completed JoAnne's portrait. Many of his paintings are exhibited at Harvard University, New York University, the National Cancer Institute, and the New York County Lawyers Association. He has won a number of awards, including the first honor award and awards of excellence from the Portrait Society of Americans International Competition, and he's a master signature member of the Oil Painters of America. Donna Lamborn and Nicole Graves, both of whom work closely with JoAnne, and who the two of them have really been the moving force behind getting this portrait completed, will now do the honors, and they will be assisted by Ouija Eston, who of course worked so closely with JoAnne over the years. So now we will have the unveiling, and I don't know the appropriate way, but how about a countdown of 3, 2, 1 from the audience? Come on, ready? 3. This portrait will be hung in this room with the portraits of other past presidents, and it's gorgeous. So this concludes phase 1 of the program. Now's the time for us to do what JoAnne wants us to do. Let's eat, drink, enjoy each other's company, reminisce about JoAnne. JoAnne was a master at bringing people together. She's brought us together now. Enjoy. Enjoy each other's company, and thank you, everyone, for coming. You're wonderful. Enjoy.